Alright, welcome to the Audacity tutorial. What we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to record audio and then make some minor editing adjustments, and then also how to export it as an MP3, which especially the first time you may need a little bit of help finding what you need to export as an MP3. So let's go ahead first of all and record. I'm going to open up Audacity. Here you see the main what you'll see when you start up. Obviously you see the normal controls like you would see on a DVD player or on any type of recording device, and some other things here that you can play around with and use as needed. We will look at a little bit at some of the trimming that you can do. But let's go ahead and first of all just start by recording a brief message, and then I'll show you how we can adjust it a little bit. Alright, so to begin recording, you simply click on the red dot for record. So I'll do that and we'll get a sample recording. Alright, so you notice now it's recording. It opens up this audio track. You can see that there's actually input coming in the microphone there, and we have a little 12-second recording. Now notice I paused it. At this point, when it's paused, if I were to go ahead and start recording again or unpause, it would start recording again and it would pick up from where it left off, but at this point I cannot edit this yet. Alright, in order to edit it I actually have to hit stop. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll look at a couple of things that we can do with it. Alright, so I have my main audio file here, and you might be interested to know that what we're doing right now is we're actually dealing with what's known as a project file. If I were to save this, notice it says save project. Okay, now this isn't incredibly useful if I'm going to want to play it in something else. But if I want to come back and edit it later or add things to it or whatnot, I would want to save it as a project. What we're going to do so that we can actually use it in other videos or put it on a CD is we're going to export it as an MP3, and we'll look at how to do that in just a moment. Okay, but before we do that, let's take a look at some of these things. You'll notice this is pretty small, and that's actually because the microphone really doesn't pick up a whole lot. It's kind of quiet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to amplify this, and you'll notice here under effects there are lots of different effects, and you can play with these. Change speed, change pitch. You can actually even record yourself singing all 4 different parts of a song and change 2 of them to a different octave, and it'll sound like a quartet singing it. You can do all kinds of different things with this, but I'm going to look at amplify. So first of all, I need to select what I want to amplify, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'll just select this portion so you can see how it changes just what I want. Now I'll go to effect. I'm going to hit amplify, and you'll notice it gives you in decibels. You'll notice you can preview it. I'm going to amplify it a little bit here. Oh, that's enough. We'll hit preview. And that was a little louder. Okay. So I need to check that so that OK will actually be highlighted, and I choose OK, and you'll notice it actually made it significantly louder. And if I were to notice, you can preview what you have by just clicking somewhere in here, and if I hit play, you'll hear the difference. You can see that there's actually okay, so what we have here is obviously not a very good quality, and I wouldn't want to normally blow that up that loud, but you get the idea. Now, another thing that you can do is cut portions out, and this is one of the most useful things. You'll notice at the beginning here I have some just kind of dead space. So what I'm going to do actually is click and drag over that, and you'll notice it's selected. And up here we have the option to cut that out. Okay. There are some other options here. I can copy and then paste different parts of my recording. I can trim, or I can silence. I can choose part, and it will keep that time in there, but it will actually silence that section. Trimming means that everything that I select, or what I select, will be all that's left. But what I'm going to do is actually cut this out, and you'll notice it just shortened it, moved everything up in the time frame that actually is gone. Now, if you accidentally do this, you can undo, but for our purposes, we're just going to leave it like this. So, finally, the last thing I want to look at is how to export as an MP3. And the first time that you do this, you're going to need what's known as the lame encoder. Alright? You'll notice I'm going to hit export, and it's going to ask for a file. I'll just save this on my desktop as a demo. And I want to actually export it as an MP3. Now, the first time I do this, I have to choose MP3. After the first time you do it, and we've got the lame encoder installed, it actually will give you the export as MP3 under the file menu. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save. You'll notice here I can add some things so that when if it's showing up in Media Player or Real Player, or if I were to put it on a CD, I would have some different information that would show up. I'm going to leave all that blank for right now. And notice when I hit in OK, it says locate lame. Alright, now if you're doing this at home, you're going to need to download lame, and that's where, if you go to the internet, audacity.sourceforge.net, and if you don't want to write that down, you can just do a search for Audacity, and it'll bring you here. And if you go to the Downloads tab, there are some you can download the program itself, depending on what you have, and also, okay, if you click on the additional downloads, we have this lame MP3 encoder, and you can download that to whatever location you want, and then you would locate that. If you're here at the school, all you need to do is browse to the public drive, and we saved a copy of this on the public drive under the folder Audacity Lame, and it's right in there. It's a DLL file. So you select that and you hit open and hit OK, and it just exported that. Okay, with a short, this is only 12.5 seconds long, so it didn't take very long. So now you can close this. You don't need to save the project unless you really want to come back and change it later. But now notice it's a MP3 file, and I can play it just like any other sound file. Alright, so hopefully this is helpful, and will get you started as you explore using Audacity.